Hey guys, Xeno back here. We're tackling the Wily Fortress. Had to kind of start the video there because there's no easy way to start the Wily Fortress. It just kind of automatically goes. So, might be a bit janky. But anyways, here is the final set of levels for Mega Man 5. Weapons are drained. Anyways, this beginning spike drop is really stupid. This is a pretty bad level design choice. If you jump down there, you'll die. Go to the left. Yeah, you can see. I'm pretty sure there's no way to survive that if you go... And another dick move here. If you are too far to the left, you just die again. Pretty bad. One interesting thing I think I forgot to show about Beat is that he can kill these gyri things. In this game, at least. So that's a little strange. Oh wait, I think there's an M-take at the beginning of the this stage that I missed. I probably should have used one. Anyways, analyzing the actual level, the music here is pretty good. Probably not as good as the Proto Man stages, but still good. And unfortunately, these first few screens are just enemy hallways. But there are some interesting things with conveyors. You can see on this screen here, at least some attempts to be interesting. The Wily levels overall, not very memorable still, but I think they're a little bit more elaborate than the Proto Man stages at least. I don't know how many of you were even able to hear anything I said over that horrible dinging noise the game makes when it fills up your weapons. I'm not really sure why that noise was necessary to be looped that entire time. Nice. I was able to kill all of them. So anyways, Wily levels. In terms of quality, probably about the same as the Proto Man stages. Still kind of dull at points. The cream of the crop of this game is really probably the Robot Master stages, because the game sort of falls apart in some ways at this point. I want to go over there, so I'm gonna use square. You can use Super Arrow at a lot of points to skip sections. And then this part is interesting. Probably one of the most well thought out parts of the Fortress stage. Unfortunately, whoever programmed this didn't take notes from Mega Man 4 because charge shots don't go through the dust block, even though they should. So that's, minus point right there. But this section has actual challenge. It's actually pretty easy to die here if you're not paying attention, so at least you're not falling asleep or yawning from the level design being so inspired. It's really unfortunate to me that so few of the Fortress rooms have interesting designs like this. Let me fill up Super Arrow again. Thank you. There are a lot of missed opportunities in this game. I think that's the vibe I've been giving off through this entire evaluation process, but that pretty much sums up Mega Man 5 as a whole for me. A lot of missed opportunities. Great Robot Masters with good physics, and clearly the team had a good foundation for what they were doing, because this isn't a bad game by any means, but it feels uninspired in a lot of parts, or just flawed. The level design really should have used some more thought. Fortunately, the Wily bosses are a lot more interesting than the Darkman bosses. This is Big Pets here. A little interesting tidbit about him is that he's the only entity in this game that takes a different amount of damage from the big versus small crystal eye, and that's his weakness. He takes 6, I think, from the big crystal eye, and 4 from the little ones. Or no, it's 4 and something else. I'm probably about to die here. Let's remedy that. Basically this fight, you just shoot the pillar parts and they come out at you, and he opens his eyes, and then you can hit him once they're extended. These green things just kind of fly randomly. Not much rhyme or reason to them. Maybe they could have been telegraphed a little better, but as it stands, this isn't awful or anything. They tend to get in the way a lot. So I get the impression that they might just be there to waste your time. But the boss design is at least fresh. It's interesting. It reminds me a little bit of the Yellow Devil, how the parts lurch out at you, but this game doesn't have a devil boss, so I guess that's what they put in to replace it. Alright, Wily Stage 2. This stage, I think, is the least memorable in the entire game. You could probably remove it from my ROM of Mega Man 5, and I wouldn't even remember. But it's a water level, and it has some interesting interactions with conveyors, at least. And the water segment is visually interesting. This jump is awful, though. That is a really stupid jump. There's an end tank right at the beginning here. There would have been one at the beginning of Wily 1 if I had used mine as well, but much like, you know, when I casually play this game, I forget that there are end tanks in these locations. For the longest time, I thought there were end tanks only in Stone Man and Crystal Man stage, because I would hold on to them. So this stage, a little tricky with the platforming. Probably one of the most challenging parts. That met placement. I feel like it's gonna screw me over. Yeah. Good thing the knockback isn't so high, or else probably would have died. I don't know why I used Super Arrow there. That jump made me a little nervous for some reason. These guys are invincible, or not invincible. These things are immune to Napalm Bomb, apparently, which I never knew. Probably because I never tried using Napalm Bomb on anything except Snowman and the mouse things. So yeah, these Mets, I think those are a new enemy actually, if I remember correctly. So that's at least good that they tried to add some new things here and there. I'm glad that I was proven wrong in my assumption that there were no new enemies, even though that other one only appeared for one screen. Then more of these mom metals, I think. Unfortunately, after that water section, a lot of the remainder of the stage just boils down to enemy hallways again. Nothing can even hurt you for most of that, and the screen can scroll improperly here. If you stay close to the right of the screen, Mega Man will stay much closer to the right edge than normal. That's just about the only interesting thing I can think of to say right now. And I think the stage is actually almost over, so... You might think that this is a Yoku Block segment, but no, you're just supposed to fly up here with Rush Jet. I think you can only make it if you hold right to slow him down, but I forget, it's been too long. And more of these power muscler positions that almost force you to use gyro attack if you don't escape quick enough, which is pretty stupid. So this boss, Circling Q9. It's pretty boring, although the pattern is easy to identify. It fires these balls down randomly, and then it goes right or left, fires a shot, right or left, fires a shot. It's weak to gyro attack. You can hit it when the flaps are open, and it's not interesting enough, really. It does the same things over and over again, and the balls are random too, so there's not even any strategy in avoiding them. You can just sometimes get hit out of the air out of nowhere. And time for the third Wily stage, which is less of a stage, and as you're probably guessing, the refight stage. I'm sure most of you have been wondering where that was, and it's right here. So, you see how this spot above me is empty? If you have no M-Tanks, you can scroll it back on. I think that the M-Tank probably should have just come back after I used it in the menu, but technical limitations, or maybe they just didn't debug that enough. So, one thing I never hear anyone talk about with these refight rooms is that in the later entries of Mega Man, they're organized by their DWN numbers. This one is Gravity Man, because he's the first one to be invented out of this group. Then Wave Man, Stone Man. This one's Star Man. That's Gyro Man. Or was Gyro before Star? Star's 37. 38, 39. So no, this one at the bottom is Star, and then this one is Gyro. And then I think it's Wave up here, Napalm, and Charge is the last one. I forget. If you had asked me this a couple years ago, I probably would have remembered better, but I'm going to tackle the only hard bosses in this game first, which are, I think I'm going to go, is this Charge Man or is it Napalm Man? I think this one. Okay, no, this is Crystal Man. Wait, I completely forgot Crystal Man existed. Okay, never mind. My memory is clearly a lot rustier than it has any right to be. Well, I didn't want to start with Crystal Man, but that's okay. I don't have anything new to talk about, so I guess I'll be trendy and give these bosses an out of 10 rating. Most of them are probably going to be pretty low, because, like I said, while these bosses are learnable, and I think that's one of the better things about them, they're very boring. See, he's just going to do the same thing over and over again until the end of time. Crystal Man probably doesn't deserve higher than like a 3. Yeah, those 3 points can encompass the coolness of the crystal ball attack, and at least having learnability points. This must be... Wait, no. Charge Man is somewhere over here. It must be this one, maybe. No, this is Wave Man. Okay, yeah, clearly I don't know my numbers anymore. Okay, Wave Man, let's think of a number for him. He does the same thing over and over again as well. Yeah, fuck it, 3. Not any different. Stone Man. Even worse than the others. This is like 1 out of 10 material, I think. Let's just blow him up. Yeah, 1 out of 10. Worst boss in the game. Very boring. Only uses his useful attack when it's useless against you, so pretty much defeats the whole point. I know this is Gravity Man. Can't find Charge Man, though. Okay, there we go. Charge Man is the most difficult boss in this game. He's the only one that will give you a significant challenge. Even though he hugs you too tightly, I think, and the coals being random is a bit of a minus. Much more interesting and actually requires some skill to fight. So I think I'm going to go with 5. 5, he's pretty good. For this game standard, at least. And I didn't even use the pause trick that time. I'm not sure how I took no damage, actually. I was only half paying attention to the game. Let's go Gyro next. I know he's in here. Gyro Man also one of the only challenging bosses in this game, if only because of how damaging the gyros are. I think these things do 6 damage to you, which is probably too much, honestly. But, his pattern is actually interesting. He needs more telegraphs. 4 out of 10. Let's do Napalm Man next. Napalm Man, pretty much the same case as Crystal Man, and only marginally better than Stone Man, because at least when he jumps around, you have to try to avoid him. So I think I'm gonna go with 3 out of 10 again. His weakness also only does 3 damage to him for reasons that I can't explain. And Gravity Man. He's pretty nifty. I think he deserves a 4 out of 10. At least the pattern is kind of interesting and not Toadman-like, even if he does do the exact same thing every time. And the weakness is also good. I didn't really talk much about how I think the weaknesses go along with the bosses, but most of them are just kind of standard fare. I think I mentioned the Gyroman's weakness being gravity hold is really clever, not only because it makes sense physically, but also because he's really difficult to hit most of the time, so having his weakness be a screen clear is a clever move. And let's fight the Starman. Saved him for last, for obvious reasons. Unfortunately, I can't be biased talking about this guy. The pattern is really 3 out of 10. Does the same things over and over again. Pretty easy to manipulate his AI into going around you. And if you're even trying, it's pretty unlikely you'll get hit by him. No wonder he wants revenge. Anyways, the Wily Press. This is a boss that has a really terrible weakness. He's weak to Star Crash of all things, which is stupid because it's so slow that you have to jump at practically the peak of this platform rising. And yeah, it'll just bounce off half the time. That's a really shitty weakness. That's unfortunate. The boss itself is nothing special. He just floats around and comes down and tries to press you. That's his namesake, the Wily Press. At least it's a fair fight, but it's really boring. Just like a lot of other things. I also think this game probably could have done with unique Fortress boss music, but for some reason in the classic series they only did that for 1 and 3. I always found that really bizarre. You can get put in an unavoidable position sometime. And that will do it as long as I don't fall in the spikes here. Yep. I'm pretty sure you can still die in these spikes after the fight is over too, which is pretty stupid. They should have spawned some platforms to prevent them from happening. And looks like this adventure is wrapping itself up. Wily Stage 4. There's not much to talk about here. The graphics are kind of whatever, and the stage is 5 seconds long. It just consists of Mega Man 5's most famous feature, 3 enemy hallways. Glorious. I really appreciate that they couldn't have come up with anything better for this. He's weak to Beat and Super Arrow, so none of this stuff will be useful. That thing respawns so quickly. The respawn range on that thing is pretty nasty. Anyways, time for Wily Machine 5. This fight is kind of interesting. He fires bouncing projectiles and then these red missiles. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard at times to dodge. Oh, and he also has this vacuum attack. That vacuum attack, which sucks you in, just like Dustman. And now time for the Wily Machine itself. This is a good example of a final boss being weak to an unlockable weapon, because you don't have to get beat, he's optional, you have to collect the letters to get him. So the fact that the Wily Machine is weak to it is clever in my opinion, because it rewards you for going through the trouble of getting him. It's unfortunate that that was never revisited in any other Mega Man game to my knowledge, because in Mega Man 6 he's just weak to the Silver Tomahawk, not beat for some reason. I think this fight takes a little bit too long with Beat, though. He only does 2 damage for some reason. I think it should have been 3. I guess I understand not wanting the fight to last for 2 seconds, but this is really drawn out. He does the same things over and over again. He spawns, drops the falling projectile that goes on the floor, and then the spiral. And unless you get unlucky with where he spawns, you're not really likely to get hit by much of this. You can see I got hit right there because he decided to spawn 2 meters away from me. But and sometimes Beat will glitch out like this actually and show you where he is. You see he's flying in a circle around nowhere, but that's where Wily will be. And interesting bit of trivia. I'm gonna have to use an M-Tank to show this off. Something that I also don't hear talked enough about is the fact that if you use Gravity Hold in this fight, you can see where Wily will spawn next. Which I don't think was supposed to be I don't think this was intentional, but it shows you because of the flash. So that's an interesting little quirk. But, that's really all I have to show off. That'll be a wrap as soon as this drawn out as hell fight ends. I'm just standing around doing nothing. This is really my main case for Beat doing 3 damage or something, because you can occasionally get in a shot in yourself, but there's usually no point. Please. Alright. Does Star Crash do anything to Wily? Alright, nice. Finishing it off with a meme. So, funny chase. Rescue Dr. Light. I like how he just jumps 10 feet in the air, grabs him out of the cage magically, and he's kind of a strong boy, because apparently he can carry that whole castle. That's a pretty nice, unique sprite that they have going there. And, someone came to save the day. I wonder who that could be. In the lower right corner there. And I especially like how he, how the sprite goes down and disappears. That's pretty cool. So, I hope you guys enjoyed me evaluating Mega Man 5. One of my personal favorite games. Very dear to my heart. I think it was the first Mega Man game I got really good at, which might be part of that reason, you know. It's the same reason people have nostalgia for Mega Man 2, but this game really has a lot of positives. Despite people talking a lot about the Buster issues, enemy hallways like I discussed a billion times, there's a lot of charm to be found here. The bosses are awesome, probably my favorite Robot Master set, 1 through 6, you know. I especially like how there's no generic elemental, like, you know, fire or ice or anything. I guess you could make the argument that Gyro is like air, but he's different enough if you ask me. And before I forget, this credits music is awesome. It's really good. It's a great way to end off the game. It gives you that satisfying feeling of having won. And as you can see on the screen here, it's scrolling through the Robot Masters with their DWN names, or DWN numbers. And I was trying to explain on the boss to refight screen that their teleporters are in that order. From left to right and top to bottom. Gravity is in the top left, and if you go down that column and then move right one column and then move right to the last column, they'll be in order. So that's a neat little touch that I feel like only a few people have picked up on that, because nobody ever mentions it. I don't really have much else to say about this game, other than I'm thankful that all these talented people, you know, made this product for me to be sitting here evaluating this today. And I hope you guys enjoyed the journey. This was certainly a fun video series to make, and I definitely won't be, you know, stopping anytime soon, because it seemed like this is much more engaging content than other stuff like the Earthbound Let's Play, which I've discontinued due to just kind of lack of engagement. So I think I'll be sticking with this. I'm thinking at the moment of doing Mega Man 2, since, you know, I'm sure a lot of people want to hear my thoughts on that game, but I'm in the same class as a lot of people who think it's super overrated and has a lot of problems. There are a lot of problems to go over in Mega Man 2 when I get to that. But I think as far as Mega Man 5 goes, that's about it. Thanks to you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.